Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Fatback 4, which is actually the Fatback 3 because Grizz is having a breakdown. We'll add him into the stream now. Grizz, is it working for you now? No, it's not working for him now. We're going to leave him. Liverpool have won 2-1 away at West Brom, and it's the maddest finish to a game I think I've ever seen, and there's been loads of games up there in the last couple of years. With me are Keith and Seany. We're going to try to get Grizz sorted. That's what happens when you don't set up before. You try to do it at 1 minute to 10. But of course, this is the Fatback 4. It's brought to you by Tayrock Watches. www.tayrock.com. Use Daytrippers15 at checkout for your discount. Of course, timepieces, as Keith likes to call them, always for men and women. There's a new women's range, I know, on the website at the moment. Jewellery and gifts, so make sure you check them out. By supporting them, you absolutely support us. We will try to get Grizz in a couple of minutes. We've sent out our tweet to say we're live. If you're on Twitter while you're watching this, please hit the retweet button, quote retweet, whatever it is you do. If you're watching here, hit the like button. It's extreme. I keep being told this, I don't know how, but it's extremely important that you hit that like button, whether you're doing it now or when you're leaving or wherever it might be. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I don't know where to start. I really don't. I'd love to start at the beginning, but I'm not going to. Seany, that was fucking mental. That's the only word I can use for it. Absolutely mental. And if a season was not mad enough already, that's put the icing on it now with 2 games to go for me.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at how the last season pretty much has played out for us, we haven't really had many of these big moments go in our favour. So what it was going against us. All of these big moments were going against us. We had Henderson's disallowed goal. What else happened at Goodison? Just other things. But this felt like something finally went that way. And you couldn't write it, Gav, because there's so many subplots to this season and how it's played out. But you can argue that nobody has been more affected than Alisson Becker in terms of on the pitch and off the pitch, because he's lost Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez on the pitch. And even more so, he loses the loved one. He loses his father, sadly, the turn of the year. So for him to have the moment like that and the pure emotion that has been lacking from football this entire season all came out today. It was unbelievable to see. His post-match interview, bring it here to a glass eye, the way the lads all went around him, it was just unbelievable. It was a big moment for us, exactly when we needed it, Gav. It couldn't have came at a better time because it's so crucial we got the win today with the 2 Chelsea and Leicester playing each other on Tuesday. And that gives us kind of this feet up. Now, not feet up because the job's not done. But it means on Tuesday, we can sit back and say, well, do you know what? It's over to you now. Yeah. And we've been on the end of those stingers for all our lives. The effect that will have on both Chelsea and Leicester is big. Let's not make no bones about it. That is huge. That will hurt them. That would have hurt them. And it would have hurt a lot of our rivals who are looking on, Manchester, Leicester. It would have hurt a lot because this team was pretty much down and out. And I would have said it myself, being honest with you, after the way the results had gone. But we've got a shot of life in the last week with a great win at Old Trafford, and then that today. And there's 2 left now, two cup finals. I hate the cliche, but it's 2 cup finals to go and get it done. And we're in with a shout now, and that's the most important part.
It's absolutely huge. And Keith, I'm being honest, like Stephen Duffy says, I can't support this team anymore for health reasons. And somebody else further up there says, it only here we go, own book, said it took us 36 games for us to get a bit of luck and a decision to go away all season. Keith, I'm going to be honest with you, when I see Alisson Becker running up that pitch at 1-1 and it's the last kick of the game, genuinely I thought to myself, these fuckers will head this out and break up the pitch and score, and we lose the game, because that's the way this season has gone. But you know, I'll get into lineups in a minute and talking points within the game, but I just want to get your feelings immediately on this, because I was just looking at our body experience, Keith. Like, that goal goes in and I'm going, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? It hits the net, and Genuinely, it happened so fast. I didn't know it was Alisson because there was a couple of bodies. Nat Phillips was in there. I didn't know if it coming off a defender. And then when it shows it again, I'm like, what a fucking header! But just madness, Keith. Absolute madness.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was sort of jaw dropping, in the sense that you don't know what's going on. I say it all the time, like Liverpool are an emotional team. Jurgen Klopp's an emotional manager. We as fans are emotional fans, and we've been starved of emotion. We say it week after week. No fans, it's killing us. Football just hasn't been the same. And today, that was the shot in the arm I needed to not fall back in love with the game. But people went on about the FA Cup final, seeing the fans in the crowd and the connection that Leicester had with their fans, which was great. You know, it was brilliant to see that. And a lot of people felt emotional at that. I'm an emotional wreck since that goal went in today. I'm an emotional wreck. I'm watching non-stop videos of Alisson, of people dubbing songs over it, of the interview. Like, it's absolutely what I needed as a fan. And I'm sure a lot of people needed. I need that emotional connection with the team now. My brother put a comment in there. I'm going to throw it up here. 2 enjoyable games in a row for the first time in months. I really needed these games. Was starting to kind of hate football. And
is that your brother?
That's my brother, yeah.
We know now when he's saying Keith's the best and all that. We know who it is now.
Yeah, that's it.
Your cover's blown.
Me burner. But no, but he's right, and I know exactly what he means. Do you know what I mean? It's not that you hate football, but like, it's not the same thing. It's not the same product that we've been watching for the last year. And we came back and won a league title during this garbage version of football. We done the good work before that, granted, but that goal today just brought me back. I'm like a giggly child since it's gone in. Do you know what I mean? The goalkeeper scored a 94th minute goal to keep us in with a chance at the Champions League. It's fairy tale stuff. It's absolute fairy tale stuff. It's brilliant. It's really, I can't say it enough. It's the shot in the arm that I needed to enjoy football again.
Tahir Qureshi, I think I've done that right. Watching Mane is frustrating. We'll get on to players now in a couple of minutes to hear. And Mane will definitely feature. Jamie Holm says he's absolutely buzzing. What a day. There's just loads of people coming in and saying that. Kev O'Sullivan says, look, brilliant result, but the performance wasn't great. We need to up it a little bit. Shawnee, before we get into the lineup and stuff like that, I'm of the opinion now that I don't really give 2 fucks about performances. I don't care who plays well, who doesn't, once that scoreline is right. I thought for the parts of the Manchester United game, I don't think we were great. I thought we were very good overall, but we weren't great in certain parts. But we just, when it goes 3-2 and that, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, the writing's on the wall here, and we shaky moments, but we got there. Today, they get a good goal. We get one back. We have chances. We spawn a few. There's obviously the VAR stuff that we'll talk about in a bit. But we got there. Like, that's what it's all about now, Shawnee. Like, give me 7 out of 10 from this team for the next 2 games with 2 results, and I don't really give a fuck. Are you like that?
Absolutely, Gav. Like, we've played better than that this season and lost and dropped points. So they're at the stage of the season now where this is what they call the so-called business end of the season, where results only matter. It only matters what you put on the board. You only get 3 points for a win. You don't get 3 points for a good performance. That's the only thing. Now, obviously, good performances and wins go hand in hand, but that hasn't been the case for us this year because we haven't had luck and we haven't been finishing chances and this and that. So those games just turn on a knife edge. Like, we pull it back to 1-1, and then Firmino hits the post straight away.
Yeah.
These games hinge on stuff like this, Gavin. That's the way football is. It's not always about grinding. It's not always about beating teams 5 and 6-0. Like, the grinding wins are the most difficult. Like, if you look back to Leicester away, we're brilliant in that game for 80 minutes and we're 1-0 up. We grinded it, we get the 1-0 up, and then we fell apart and we lost the game 3-1. And in the end, that's a 6-point swing. That ended up being a 6-pointer. Do you get what I'm saying? Because 3 points went to them and we lost the 3 points. So it doesn't matter. It does not matter. The performance does not matter. Don't be going around picking out players saying this player was shit, this player was shit. As a group, they won, and that's all they had to do today. I don't care about performances. I'm going to be honest with you. I had to watch extensive highlights of the game because I actually missed the game live. And I was trying my best because I was down the beach out of the family. I was just trying to bleed and think of myself. So I'm trying to I said, I'll check it every 15 minutes, right? And I checked, and I checked that 25 pass that was right here. I says, all right, 95 plus 4. I says, that's it, it's on the blow. But I don't know whether anyone in the chat has the live score app. In that app, it says big chance. And when big chance comes up, normally means someone's at the scoring. And I goes, here, what's going on here? And I fucking clicked in. And I actually thought I was hallucinating. I seen Alisson Becker come from I'm going to fuck this phone in the water. Yeah. This is winding me up. But this heat is claiming me. It's fucking with my head. But, Gav, it does not matter. Nothing matters. Do you think Chelsea and Leicester be taking solace saying, well, Liverpool weren't that good and you've got that will they fuck? No. We got the 3 points. And that's all that matters. Nothing else matters because we've played better than that this season and we've had absolutely nothing to show for it. So I'm in the business of getting fucking 3 points and getting out of there. Especially Sam Allardyce was talking around yesterday about wanting to hurt us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we went to Helm's Deep. Now we have to go to fucking Mordor and show the bleeding ring in the fire because we have to go to Burnley during the week. So look, it's not done, but we're getting there, Gavin. That's all that matters. We thought we lost this. We thought this team hadn't got the mentality anymore to dig these wins out. United pulled one back the other night with 10 minutes to go, and we get the extra one and kill them off. So there's still a bit of fight in this team. So look, I'll put my hands up. I said weeks ago on a podcast, this would change week to week because of the way the fixtures played out. After Newcastle, I was completely deflated. I clocked out, but like fucking Al Pacino says in Godfather, just when I thought it was out, they've pumped me back in. And another massive week now to salvage this season because, Gav, you play golf, right? The way this season has gone, right? We drove off. This is a par 5.
Yeah.
The first strike of the ball, we drive it into the rough. And then we go from the rough into the fucking bunker. And then we go from the bunker into the pond and we get a mulligan. And now we have an opportunity to chip in from late outside the main and nip Champions League. So we finally have a chance. And we've seen so many times this season when it presented ourselves, because we should be fucking home and hose the points we've dropped to the team, to the shite that we've dropped.
The teams in none that is serious.
We should be. And today we thought, bollocks. It's gonna happen again, and then madness happens. Football happens, but Liverpool did a football today, and it was fucking brilliant to see.
It was absolutely amazing to see, and you've said something there, and it's the reason why I asked you about performances, because I've seen Liverpool play better than this season, and not win a game, not draw games. I've seen them being as poor as this. I don't think we were brilliant today, but I've seen us be of that level and lose or draw. So it is a mentality thing. Haris Rafiq is a United fan. He says, happy for Alisson. RIP his father. Thanks a million for that one. A lot of respect for that. And Danish Karoy, FSG, get out of Liverpool FC. I always read his name in full just once. He says, evening gentlemen, we win on Thursday. We will qualify top 4. Last game at Anfield with 20,000 fans will be the last game as champions and will push us over the line. Waiting for You'll Never Walk Alone. It's going to be amazing. Grizz is in the house. Grizz has worked out how laptops and all that sort of stuff work, I think. His voice is gone from, I don't know what it's gone from. I might be shouting at that goal later on. But Grizz, before we move on away from, we're going to come back to this goal, but before we move away from it, unbelievable, Grizz. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's, my voice has actually gone, but I couldn't miss today's show.
You tried your best.
It's the reason we love this game, and it's funny on the back of the week we've had in our WhatsApp group. It's one of the most momentous weeks of our WhatsApp group ever, because we've discussed, and even last week's pod, did you remember we even one of the shows during the week was about how we've fallen out of love with football, how we're not enjoying it, how there's no moments, drama. It's being sort of like voided with the VAR. It feels null and voided, because of the VAR. You can't celebrate. That went out the fucking window today, lads. No, Keith, I had a fit today. Yeah. My voice is gone. I feel fucked. I think my laptop took about 2 hours to start because I think I threw it on the floor. I smashed up the gaff. I'm calling Akif tomorrow to come and do a few bits and bobs around the house. No, my house is a tip. I fucked everything up. I smashed everything up. I picked up the umbrella, tried breaking the door. I was like proper going mad. And you know what? Only afterwards I'd done all that gaff, I realized, what if this gets disallowed for some reason?
Yeah.
It was still in my mind because I thought, shit, I forgot all about VAR. But that's what this game's about. It will live. I'm trying to think. I was always thought that the Divock Origi goal would never be beaten in terms of last minute drama and everything. I think this smashes that out of the ballpark. Today's ending is just a fairy tale that happens in dreams, and you dream about this kind of stuff and you tell your kids stories, but it fucking actually happened.
Grizz, if I close my eyes, I think I'm on a podcast with Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
Olivier says Grizz sounds like a substitute teacher at the end of the day. That is an absolutely amazing show.
Do I get the points for my impression? Sean Dyche finally.
Yeah, that's 3 points in the next. Grizz goes into the next quiz on +3 before we start. But look, it's look, we've seen loads of last minute winners, even Gerrard. It was only the other day come up, Gerrard in the, not a winner, but in the FA Cup final of 2006, and literally that's the injury time and he scores. Going back, there's loads of last minute stuff, like you say, Origi late at Newcastle, but this one is literally, there's no more time. It's like literally getting a pen out in the last kick of the game. It was unfucking believable. But look, we have to go back and talk about the game a little bit, and we'll get back to the goal because I want to talk a bit about Alisson's interview and stuff like that, and Sam Allardyce having a breakdown, which was amazing to see. But Keith, I'll come to you first. You see the team, and he sticks with the centre-half partnership. He doesn't really have any choice. It looks like Kabak might be missing for the rest of the season. The fullbacks are as normal. And he puts Jones into the midfield. And, of course, Jota sustained a foot injury at United, and we don't know what's going on there. But, Mane was a big talking point during the week, obviously before and after the game. He's back in. How did you feel going into it, Keith? Because, I'm being honest, I was a little bit... I'm not sure. I'm worried over Sadio Mane. Curtis Jones showed a bit at Manchester United, but I'm still a little bit worried over him. How did you feel?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm a huge fan of Curtis Jones, and I think he's had a very good season for a young player breaking in. But some games maybe suit players and others don't. And when you're playing Allardyce's West Brom, despite they could have been on -4 points for the season, and he's going to pick them up to play against us. He's of that skill that, Liverpool is still the big scalp and, or one of the big scalps, and he'll always have his team set up to try and beat us. And he has this little thing over Jurgen Klopp, the manager who's got the most points off him or some shit like that in the Premier League. So going into it with Curtis was a risk. When Jota gets injured, I don't know what you think, whether it was a Jota for Mane was the change, or whether it would have been the 4 up top with the 2 in behind. That's what I thought we would have gone with. So I don't know if Curtis was a replacement for Jota or what the situation was. But I wasn't overly unhappy to see Curtis getting a game. I think Genie has been a great servant, and we're seeing the end of Genie, the last days of Genie Wijnaldum, and he's been a great servant for us. But he looks very tired. You know what I mean? He looks shattered, and maybe dropping him out for this game wasn't too bad of an idea. But we have a midfield there now. We have the base of a midfield. Cerrone Jones is after saying it there, and a lot of people have said it. Thiago. Alisson's after fucking scabbing Thiago something rotten today, because Thiago was absolutely sensational and Alisson's come and stole his thunder. Do you know what I mean? But we're getting signs of what's to come. Get this shit over with, move on to next season. But with the lineup today, we'd no choice. Look at the bench. Do you know what I mean? What were the options?
Yeah, no, that's
There's nothing there.
That's fair. Kieran Thorne said that goal feels as monumental as Genies against Borough, but there are still 2 cup finals left. Good point. And Matt Sweeney put in a £5 super chat and just said nothing. You might be lost for words. Somebody did ask that we could make something up as to what he said, but he didn't say anything. But I want to give him the credit for it. Shawnee, I want to get into the game because I just want to talk about this fucking goal more. But yeah, they go 1-0 up after 15 minutes, and Reece Williams has pulled out of position. But it's a great finish from Robson Kanu. I have to say, it's a really, really good finish. You've already told us that you're currently not in the country at the moment. You're somewhere very much warmer, with beaches and stuff open, and it's all going on. But when you see that goal go in, Shawnee, and 1-0 after 15, are you thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, West Brom, Sam Allardyce, 1 up, they'll just hold out here, you know what's coming? Or we went 1-0 down at Manchester United after 10 minutes and you seen what happened. What way did it throw you? Was there a bit of confidence, or was it a bit, Groundhog Day, it's back?
Again, Gav, I have to be honest, like, not getting to see the game live. When I flicked on live score, I seen 0-0, and then I saw that it was 1-0. So I was like, okay, half time, 1-0. What's going on here? And then I done the stupid thing of trying to ask you lads in the WhatsApp what way the game was playing out. And it could have been nuclear war going on around the Hawthorns and the boys wouldn't have picked up on it. So I was completely in the dark in regard to that. So
it was mad.
When I was checking and I was saying we were creating chances, and then I put it on. I was listening to the game through live flash score. I have a fucking commentary thing now, and we had one chalked off, didn't we? Second half, Mane was offside. Yeah. So I was thinking, look, we should have enough here to do this, and I'm thinking to myself, what's the story with them catching us on the break here? And that's us being those for the start of the season for us. So I always had it in my head because of our record against the shite this season. But again, it's just mad, Gav. It's impossible to talk about this game in microcosm because of the way it ended. It's a waste of time, I think. To be honest with you, we're wasting that time saying who was good, who was bad. Like, this is a huge moment in the season, one that we've been waiting for so long. And just, I want to go off track on a little tangent here for a second. This is why this fucking Super League stuff needs to go away and never come back, because you think yesterday that FA Cup wouldn't have meant nothing. Look, when the goal went in from Tillmans, the explosion in the crowd, the noise of the crowd blowing up. Remember when this was all coming out and we played Leeds and we ended up dropping points late and we were all going, sure, we don't even know what the fucking story is. Are we even going to be in the Champions League next year? Imagine the Super League had got a go ahead. That never happens today. And even if it does, who gives a bollocks? Alisson is standing kicking the post down the other end when we have a corner in the 90th minute, because none of it matters. And this is why it's so important that we protect the sport and integrity of the game, because these moments is what makes seasons. This is what makes you love football. This is what we remember. This is all the stuff we remember. If we do go over the line now, years down the road, we're not going to be turning around saying, do you remember Virgil got banjoed at bleeding Goodison and this happened and that happened? We'd be saying, fucking hell, remember we needed it. Pull it out of fire, and Alisson goes up the other end and gets a header in the 90th minute. And I'll tell you one thing, it did make me fucking realise. Imagine if we had a number 9 who could head the ball. Put the ball on his head. That's the difference it would make. Imagine we signed Haaland. He could be getting towards the end of the season. Yeah. So hopefully it's something that we're looking at in the summer. Not obviously Haaland, but something different up top, because we can't be sending Alisson up every week.
I would. If he's that good, I would. Fuck it. 5 minutes into a game, you get an early corner, fuck him up there. You know what I mean? He's winning everything. But like Shawnee says, like it is hard to kind of think about the game and all the stuff that went before. But we'll try our best, because like literally we're just all buzzing. Like, I haven't stopped watching that goal. I've watched his interview 2 or 3 times. I haven't seen Sam Allardyce's interview, because as soon as the whistle went, I literally turned on the laptop and started getting this show together. So I missed bits and pieces. But
riddled with bitterness it is. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Grizz is taking subs of any drink he can find here to try and make his voice better, so I'm going to put it to the test. Grizz, we get the equaliser, and you know Mane misses a chance, and people are saying it's a sitter. It's not the easiest chance in the world. He should get it on target, but we get the equaliser and Salah again, and it's a fucking brilliant finish, Chris.
It's only him though. This is my worry, and well, fuck it, as we probably discussed before, it's all about results. But I couldn't see anyone scoring the goal. That's the problem. Apart from Mo. Mo's finish was instinctive, was deadly, like an arrow. Didn't need any backlift. There was no danger. There was nothing. It just fell to him and just whipped it in. Like it was just a pure. When Mohamed Salah's on top of his game, that's his go-to finish. You know, keeper no chance. And you think to yourself, yeah, we're back in it because we've given ourselves enough time now to go on and work our way into this game. Because up till then, we were shambles, man. That was another awful performance. Our performance has been so inconsistent. So Newcastle was scintillating, but we draw. Southampton were average, but we win. Man United we're brilliant again. And today we're, overall we were poor. But who gives a fuck about today? So we got that goal, instinctive finish. Mane again. Mane is struggling, lads. Mane is proper struggling, but he was up for it. He tried his heart out today. He ran around, but the quality and the link-up play was not there. His touch, his touch was poor. Yeah, there was a couple of times where he should have hit on the target, but he doesn't give up. He loses the ball and then he doesn't give up, and he gets to the ball before and it manages to fall for Salah, and Salah with an absolute dead-eye finish got us back into the game. I actually thought we're going to get a grip, and now we're going to create chances in the second half and really, really overpower them. But we toiled, in my opinion.
Yeah. Genie Houdini says, just a quick, you can answer this with one word. Your options are Origi or Alisson. The question is, which moment was more shocking? Origi's Everton goal or the Alisson goal? Keith?
Alisson.
Shawnee?
I did, with a bit of recency boys going on. That Origi goal was bleeding mad. That was one of the
that was insane.
It was more for the comedy element of it that Pickford made an absolute
but this you can't. Come on. How often?
I'm not knocking this. This is like saying you want bleeding Viennetta or Häagen-Dazs. It's about good. They're about great, but you think about it.
Don't rule out Ben and Jerry's, lad.
Imagine remember the Origi one. Remember what was going on around that time. It was a slugfest between us and City. So it was win, and we were like, shit, we're gonna slip up here.
Draws were like defeats.
Forget about us forgetting about it. Virgil slices the thing 70, the snow on it when it comes down and it comes off the bar and Origi drops it in. But I'm only saying that because I was in the pub watching that one, so maybe I'm biased.
But, I suppose the shock is the key word, isn't it? Because
shock.
Well,
shocking. If Origi against Everton is not much of a shock because it's literally what his Liverpool career has been. So then we'll say, it's got to be Alisson, fucking an instinctive bullet header. It's like gets it across the goal. It's ridiculous, to be honest with you. I still can't get my head around.
But it's another iconic corner taken from Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've touched upon his performance today or last few games. Trent Alexander.
Terrible.
Really? You thought he was terrible?
I thought his crossing was off, and I thought I think he absolutely fluffed that chance when he cut in.
I totally disagree with you. I totally vehemently disagree with you.
It's all about moments.
I thought he was magnificent.
Doesn't matter.
I thought that kid out there today played his heart out. In situations like this, when we've discussed the injuries and your captains are falling away, and then your captains have been Gini Wijnaldum and he's not even in the team, you've only got a few lads that you can look to and really raise their game and carry themselves, carry you. And that was
I'm going to cut across you. Hold on for a sec. He wasn't terrible, right? People are getting the hump with me for saying he was terrible. He had some bad moments today. He wasn't terrible. But it's the goal. It's the cross for the goal that gets him back into the...
But he, just his general attitude and demeanor now, you can see he's growing into a leader now. And that's what's brilliant to see, because we've always looked at him, a kid under the wing of Virgil. You can just you can see that image of Virgil just over him. But now he's without Virgil this season, I think he's grown into a leader, and it could only only do him wonders for the future.
Another thing you need to remember is he's playing with Reece Williams beside him, so he's having to mind him as well. Yeah. And they all say that Trent is not the strongest one-on-one defender defensively. Like, Trent plays way beyond his years. Like, we forget what age the fella is, and what you see with all these kids who have a bit about them is when adversity comes around, 9 times out of 10 they go hiding, and that's one thing you can never ever accuse him of. He never gives up. He never goes hiding in games. Yeah. If he gets roasted once, he's in it for the next one. The head never drops, never ever drops. And I've always noticed that with Trent, even since his debut away to United at Old Trafford. And I agree with Grizz. He's become a bit of a leader in the side in a quiet way, because there's times when you look to him, he gets the 90th minute winner against Villa, and he picks the ball up in midfield and makes that run. And he cuts in from left wing to score the goal. So he's trying to get involved. Someone who does it, but not actually to the same level. It's something you see Sergio Ramos doing, saying, how can I affect this game when it's not going our way? How can I affect this game? And that's one thing I love about Trent, is that when we're in there and we need something, you'll see him hanging around for something to pop up and for him to take the opportunity. And he lasers that one in today, and Alisson gets on the end of it. And I just want to say, Alisson at both ends has been both ends, including today, what happened to goal. But doing what he has to do normally, he's back to his very best, I find. Maybe not his feet, but in terms of the shot stopping and the big moments, he's been excellent for us, particularly in that game against Southampton. And again, none of it matters. It's 3 plus 3. That's all that matters. Plus 3. Plus 3, plus 3. We need to do that twice more this season, and we're in. And that's all that matters. But it's huge. Today is huge. It can't be understated how big that is, because this will be a massive achievement for Klopp to get us into fourth. With what's gone on this season, I feel it'll be absolutely mental, completely written off as well, which makes it even better.
Do you know what? Just on Trent, I think he's been brilliant for the last little while. Ever since Gareth Southgate hung him out to dry in the most unprofessional thing I've seen in a long time from an international manager. And I'll stick by that, because I said it it was another podcast I was on, and I was asked about it, and I said it out straight. I thought Southgate was an absolute disgrace, the way he carried on with Trent. But I think in the last while he's been really, really good. What I would say about him today is that, do you know what he reminded me of a little bit? It reminded me of Gerrard, when Gerrard used to try to do too much, right? And I know you're about to snigger at me because you think I was going to say he's as good as Gerrard. What I'm saying is, do you remember Gerrard used to be playing, and when he was free of the shackles and Liverpool were playing well, he was amazing. And then there was times where when we were struggling, he tried to be everywhere. He tried to do everything. Everything had to be a killer pass. Everything had to be, and it hindered him. And you've even seen it for Beckham for England at times, where Beckham would be all over the fucking pitch and England would lose their shape, and they get punished for it. That's what I felt was coming into Trent's game a little bit today. But I have to be honest with you, as the game went on, I thought he got better, because I think he trusted the people around him a bit more. Maybe he said, look, this isn't probably doing us any good. And next thing, Liverpool I thought were better as the game went on. Like, to be honest with you, like, we're giving Alisson man of the match, but as Keith said earlier, Thiago was fucking outrageous at times. But it's one of those where with Trent, I've no issue with it at times. I just don't want to see it affect us too much. And listen, I'd much rather Trent being on the pitch and trying, rather than a fella that, like Shawnee says, goes hiding, sits at right back, plays simple passes, doesn't want to get forward, the sort of thing. So for me, I don't think Trent was at his absolute best. But having said that, you can't lack him or give out for his lack of tenacity, I suppose, and will to win. But sometimes it can just get in on players where they feel they have to do everything, and it doesn't actually help the team at times. Go on, Keith.
Can I jump in there just for a sec? Something Seany touched on there, and I agree. I think defensively he's improved so much, Trent. I think in the last few games he's been excellent defensively. When I was criticising him there, it wasn't on the defensive side, it was the sort of decision making, and Gav, you touched on it perfectly there, comparing it with Gerrard, when he felt like he was trying to take it all on his shoulders, because as Seany said, against Villa he's popping up. You know, he's not staying as a right back, and that's why you can't compare him with any of these other right backs that are around. He's coming up on the left hand side, he's waiting on the edge of the box. You know, he's trying to make things happen. And I'm not criticising him. I just thought today he was forcing things too much when maybe a cooler head was needed. But look, I'm a big fan of Trent, and I think defensively he has been excellent defensively, which he gets the criticism for.
But Keith, what I loved about him, he was doing that because everyone else majority of players were dead out there. And so therefore he took it upon himself in the last 20 minutes. And you could see it in his reactions and his actions, and you could see in his body language that he was trying to make the difference. And that's huge in a young player. I agree with you. His final shot when he made a brilliant run in, cut in, he could have played into Shaqiri first time rather than cut in and then smash it with his left foot. Things like that. But small decision making, he will get better and better. And obviously we forget the quality around him. I know Gav touched upon Thiago, and we probably talk extensively about Thiago, but his relationship and his partnership with Thiago is a joy to see already. And that's only going to get better and better, because Thiago is still working out who's the ball players in this team, who's on this wavelength. And he's realized Trent is a fucking footballer on his wavelength. And I'm
the biggest compliment you can give him, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm excited.
We mentioned Sam Allardyce earlier, and he got a bit upset, I believe, about VAR and some, I don't know, lack of gravy in the players' lounge. I don't know what it was. But Seany, I'll come to you. I presume he's getting upset because Liverpool score after it's 94 minutes and 15 seconds or something when they score. And the second thing is
No, he didn't give out about that.
Oh, did he not? Okay.
No,
he gave out about VAR, the header.
Our first goal that he felt when Mike Dean ran across Thiago, he felt it should have been a drop ball instead of a free kick to Liverpool. But I don't think it's usually a contested drop ball, is it? So what's the difference? But Jamie Carragher and everyone at Sky seemed to agree with him that it shouldn't have been a goal. But I don't know. I think, you get if the ball hits the ref, he stops it, gives it to the team that had possession, and they play away, which is what happened today. So I think he was making a big deal out of it. And the second one was the disallowed goal for them. Yeah,
because Free World says Sam Allardyce on Liverpool. He says the referee and VAR made it happen for them apart from the goal in the last minute. So,
so apart from them scoring
a goal,
more goals in the game than we did. That's what did it for them. Don't be minding Big Sam. He's a fucking dope anyway.
He is a dope.
The worst part is they're relegated now. They're gone. They were gone before this game. Some shy hawks are going to give him a job 18 months time trying to save them. But surely his gig is up now.
Yeah.
He's not doing what he's been paid to do. That's the best thing. So with a bit of luck, that might see him off. The good riddance anyway, Fat Sam, you bleeding clown. And the fact that his name is Fat Sam as well.
Yeah. And he's known for drinking gravy.
From a pint glass.
Leave him at it. He be fucking... He does not give a bollocks about West Brom or anyone else. He's only been the man in his own self-interest. This is a fella who got the biggest job in English football and decided that he wanted another 400k, take bribes, and done it and got set up. So we're not talking about the most intelligent type of fella here. So I take whatever Fat Sam says with a pinch of salt, and more so for him about a gravy.
Yeah, but taking all that into consideration, I'm so happy that VAR decision went our way. Or
I was going to say, what do you make of that? What do you make of that, Grizz?
I think we were lucky with it should be a drop ball technically, absolutely, but who gives a fuck again? But really, you're right, because the ball didn't hit the referee. He was just in the way. So I don't know, somebody well versed in football rules may look it up and let us know in the chat. But from what we've seen, it's usually a drop ball and it is uncontested, as Keith says. So what's the difference? But technically there is a difference because we took a free kick. So he's moaning about that. Fuck it, love it. Then he's talking about the offside. the VAR goal that was disallowed from them, but that was rightly disallowed because
Correct.
their 6'7" defender is just literally in the eye line of Alisson.
Mm-hmm.
We would have had
it was Matt Phillips, was it? It was Matt Phillips who was in the eye line, but he doesn't make any move to get out of the way. You know what I mean? He just stays there. So whether he interferes or not, it's.
Exactly. The thing is, he's not obliged to get out of the way, Keith. So we would have had a bit of a moan if that happened towards us. But fuck it. No, but fuck it. I love it. And on top of everything else, we score from a corner set piece. I actually said in the WhatsApp group, literally at that same point, guys, I made some brilliant calls today in the WhatsApp group, as you lot know.
Yeah.
And one of them was, why the fuck
I'm glad he's mentioned this.
I literally said, why the fuck are we trying to get corners as if we're a threat on fucking corners, right? And I just turned my phone off and I said, because we've had about 10, 15 corners, didn't look like scoring. Next minute, when fucking Alisson comes up, scores a winner. I fucking tried to delete it, but it was too much bullshit since then.
My favourite was your tweet. My favourite was your tweet just as the injury time started, and you said, at last an end to this terrible season.
But tell me anyone thought otherwise. Tell me one any of you that thought
some of us stick in Grizz.
This wretched season.
Yeah, and you see, the biggest thing for me is that you said you weren't getting dragged back in, but that tweet told me that you were dragged back in, and now you were trying to release yourself again. But look, we all have our crosses to bear. Allardyce says, Jurgen, he always thinks he's right, doesn't he? He's always right, so maybe I am today. He's a lucky man tonight, and he knows it. That's from Free World, and I am Sam
That's
Allardyce.
like something Dave Bassett would say.
Do you know what? I thought that was a quote from The Office, but it's clearly not. But look, the VAR thing. I said it to you lads before we come on. The guy gets a touch on it to go in, but it's the guy standing in front of the goalkeeper. If he actually moves before that header, moves 2 or 3 yards to the left or the right, I think you're fine. But the fact that he stands still, and it's actually poor from him because everyone's coming out. Why is he standing in there? As an attacker, you think get back online and stuff like that. But I don't see where the argument is. Like, I have to be honest with you. If we'd scored that goal and it went in, I would have went, we're not getting that. Because he's right in the eye line. Regardless, the offside stuff is the guy that gets the touch isn't offside. But look, for me, it's a fairly straightforward thing. With regards to Thiago and stuff, I think technically you're right there, Grizz. What the referee sees in that, I don't know. But you have to remember, there's phases after that. It's not like West Brom all fucking sit on the ground and go, oh, that's a hot, that's going to be a hot ball. Let's all just chill. Do you know what I mean? No one chills. You know what I mean? So look, I don't know where he's going with that, but he's moaning out of him. He's walked around for the last fucking I don't know how many years, telling you that he's never had a team relegated. Well, he has now. All
Taking the balls from this.
Yeah, so we can put an end to that conversation. I want to talk a bit more about the game, but I don't really. Thiago, I want to talk about Thiago because I want to get back onto the goal. Let's have a little chat about that. But Keith, Thiago. We've seen him play a lot of games and being taken off and rash challenges and yellow cards. Like, it was literally a running joke every time in our WhatsApp group. Like, what minute will Thiago get a yellow card on? Yeah. But today, Keith, I thought he was masterful, is the word I'd use. He was just, no one could get near him.
It's the carried on from the United game the other night as well. I think he's really coming in. I think he's been good in all the games. I think there's an expectation that he was going to be one thing, and we probably realising that he's not. He's not an assist machine. He's a metronomic type of player that just takes things over. This bullshit that he slows us down, I'm never on board with that, and I think it's the most ridiculous fucking statements of the season saying Thiago slows us down. He doesn't. He fucking, if anything, he speeds us up, but he doesn't have the players around him. But today, he was fucking amazing today. He done one bit in the second half, I think it was. Alisson takes the ball goes back to Alisson, and Thiago comes in, splits the centre-backs. Alisson rolls her into his feet, and he just whips it over his own shoulder. The West Brom players were closing him down, doesn't even look, whipped her over the shoulder straight into the channel for Mo. Like, it's outrageous what he does without looking where he's going. He does his little rollover with the foot when he sort of shifts it out of his feet. People can't get near him. He has the body swerve that, the shoulder drop. And Sean, I know we spoke about that before he signed the trademark Thiago move, and he's doing it all the time now. I think the last 2 games, we've really seen what this fella is about. And it's probably, I wouldn't say the pressure is off. The pressure is very much on, but it's nearly at the stage now where it's right. Shit, I got off the pot now, lads, and Thiago's rising to that challenge, and Fabinho beside him is helping him. And the signs for next season, like, I'm really excited to see what we can do with this fella. Because Grizz said it earlier about Trent. Thiago sees Trent and he knows, game recognizes game and all that sort of thing. And the whole team are going to lift with this fella in there. He's like nothing, even we say Xabi Alonso was that type of player, but he's not, this fella is so unusual as a midfield player. It's just a pleasure to watch. I'm a huge fan.
Emma Kavanagh says we got a sneak peek of what's to come from Thiago next season, and he absolutely can't wait. Grizz, the argument that Thiago slows us down, I never kind of got. Because for me, whenever I think of a player slowing you down, they either A, pass the ball backwards a lot, or B, take 3-4 touches every time they get the ball. I very rarely see Thiago pass the ball backwards, unless it's one into Alisson where he's looking to get another angle and then he starts moving. And I can't remember him taking 3 or 4 touches on a football for Liverpool. That's being honest with you. Because it's always 1 or 2 touch, nearly all the time, unless he's taking a fella on. And if you're taking a fella on, you're not going backwards, so you're not slowing down the game. Is it a case of with him, he had the injury, coming back, learning and adapting to, listen, we're not going to be playing the way we all thought we were going to play. Yeah. This is the way we're going to play. And now I'm adapted to it, and let's go. Because I was just looking at him today, there's nobody close to him. They could have put another fella on the pitch, and I don't think they got close to him. Because as the lads say, the way he swerves with the ball, he drops the shoulder, he runs that ball with the studs, he's pressed and he knows exactly what's going on. He's just unreal to watch.
Yeah, look, I'm actually trying to work out, or I'm trying to, if you tell me who actually said that. I want to know which pundit or which.
I don't know who said it, but it became a widespread thing.
Yeah, a few of them. Gary Neville was saying it.
Yeah, I want to know who actually said it, because
there was an agenda early on about.
Someone did say it, but I can't remember who actually said it.
It was Neville. It was Neville.
Was it Neville?
Yeah, it was Neville particularly, because we played away to Southampton, and he had a poor first 10-15 minutes.
He got booked in the first minute or something, didn't he? And he was fucked then.
3 minutes in, yeah.
He's a dickhead, because I wonder what he thought about Paul Scholes when he played alongside Paul Scholes. These kind of players are so quick in their head. You can't even think. You can't even before. And anybody that's put him in, I've seen shitheads put him in sort of flops of the season. They're going to have some mad egg on their faces, because this guy is a magician. And what it is with him, he's so clever. The thing with him is he knows exactly what pass to make, when to make it, and the speed. You often see his pace of his passes as well. They're only subtle, but they make, they're only subtle little things, but they make all the difference. And you can see the frustration and irritation on his face when he even misplaces one pass. That's a sign of a perfectionist. This guy is an absolute elite operator, and he's worked himself way into fitness. The major thing we often discussed was we don't want Klopp utilizing him where he has to bloody run around too much. Yeah, exactly. But we've seen his fitness in the last 4 games. I've noticed it very significant difference in his levels of fitness, and that comes with playing. People forget he had 3 months out. It's mad. In the hardest league of the season, without a break, after coming back from Bayern, reaching the Champions League final, and then COVID season. Come on, guys. This guy, sometimes you got to look at the overall picture. Yeah. And the way he's painting and the way he's dictating now. And the key person in this also is Fabinho alongside him. I think they've played together 5 and 1-5. I think
they played 6-1-5 and drew 1. I think.
Sorry, they drew one. But this is it. This is what he was to play with. Now imagine he didn't have to worry about, bless them, championship defenders behind him. No, I'm being honest. Imagine he knew he's got Virgil and Gomez. Like, can't fucking try to take them on one-on-one if I lose the ball. So he's having to be careful. He's having to be sort of collect the ball. He's having to be extra careful with his passes. Watch when he's got security around him. Watch this guy. The forwards are going to have a field day. And that's why Mo Salah is not going anywhere, because he knows this as well.
I'm going to try to say this, Grizz. Abubakar Ali
well done.
says, what's consistent this season is how horrible and horrendous our bench is. Shaqiri, Origi, Woodburn, can't wait for summer transfers. FSG have work to do. I think that's, like, to be honest with you, I looked at the bench today and I was like, there's still a few missing there that you'd expect to be on the bench, you know, Keita and Ox, and then you throw the injuries on top that we have. And
those lads in that 11 today don't even on a bench next year.
Yeah, and that's fair, but I'm sure, like, Abubakar, I'm saying it really well now. We will get to that sort of stuff as the weeks unfold and our transfer agenda shows come up and stuff like that. But just on Thiago, Shawnee, I'm going to let you look into the future here, right? And we're not all going to do it. I'm going to let you do it, right? So if we have Van Dijk and Gomez or Kanate, however it might be, at centre back next season, and you've got Henderson and you've got Fabinho in beside them there, the fullbacks are back to doing what the fullbacks do because of those centre halves being available, and the forwards are able to more or less concentrate on being forwards rather than being, you know, absolutely part of a unit. Because I always find Liverpool's forwards, they don't detach themselves from the unit, but they're given a freedom when we have all those players on the pitch. Whereas now they're looking to be a bit more workmanlike and hope that their quality shows. What can Thiago do on this side with all those players back and confidence back and a clean slate, I suppose? Because when I look at him, Shawnee, I'm thinking what he's doing now, you'll probably see it 20 yards further up the pitch with more insurance behind him and 3 or 4 fellas ahead of him absolutely reveling in it.
Yeah, like, one of the biggest criticisms with Thiago has been his legs. People going on about his legs. But I'll tell you what, when he has the right personnel and the team, his legs won't matter, because players like him have the extra 2 or 3 yards in their heads. And at that level, that's all the difference. You look at Xavi, Iniesta, not the quickest of player. Paul Scholes, not very quick. Paul Scholes played on until he was quite old as well. Thiago's going floating next year. That's what's going to happen to him. He's going to be told, look, the 2 boys in there, whoever it may be, whether we sign, whoever comes back into the team from injuries, you go and do what you want. You only have to look at that 45 minutes he plays at Chelsea this year, Stamford Bridge. He comes on at half-time and he's man of the match. He touches the ball in one half more than anyone else on the pitch. Key hit the nail on the head. It's perfect. He's not a goal scorer. He's not a massive assister. He's metronomical. He's what makes you tick. He's what gets you moving. He's who pops balls into spaces in behind. And you just have to think sometimes, you don't even see the pass coming, because he does that one where he wraps his whole body around the ball and it's a reverse pass that's zinged at 60 miles an hour into the striker's foot. And the striker doesn't even know. Exactly. Like, you look at the one at Goodison. Like, it's ridiculous. That's the level of quality this fella has. And then he gets butchered by Richarlison. And then he has to come back into the side and do a job that he felt he probably wasn't brought in to do at Liverpool. Maybe he was brought in at Liverpool convinced that he'd be more of a number 10, going on the float, going look at David Silva at Man City, just hovering, affecting the game where he has to be, not being relied upon, so to speak, to do the donkey walk, because the foundation of this club team in the spine has been the 3 yard dogs in the middle, Gini, Hendo and Fabinho. And we tried to get away from it this year, but unfortunately with injuries, Klopp hasn't been able to do that. That's why you're seeing the likes of Jota. Jota's different to Mane, Salah and Firmino. Jota's on the shoulder, going in behind the whole time. And that's what we didn't have. And we'll have that again as well next year, because we need to realise that Jota was also missing for large parts. So these 2 players were brought in the summer to bring on sort of a revolution, so to speak, in Klopp's way of playing football. But at the end, the cream always rises to the top with these fellas. And that's just what happens with football when you're as good as Thiago, because let's not forget, this fella is one of the greatest players to ever play that role in the game, whether you like it or not. we were singing his praises before we signed him. That's why we made such a big deal when he was coming in here. He played a pivotal role in that Bayern Munich side. They didn't want him to go. He was so good. And now they're trying to get Kimmich to do what he did, and he's just not able. So we have a hell of a player in Thiago. And look, I'm just delighted he's fit and starting to get going, because little bits of quality that he may or may not produce in these next 2 games will be the difference going forward, because all it takes is one moment of quality. We've seen it so many times. Salah's goal against Newcastle, the swivel, the volley, bits of magic can get you out of hole. Shaqiri has done it for us at times in seasons past. But Thiago, and Grizz hit the nail on the head earlier, he knows Trent. Look, this kid is on my level. And with those developing some sort of relationship on that right side of midfield, that could be special, because Trent and Thiago are 2 of the most aesthetically pleasing footballers to watch in European football, if you ask me anyway. And with both of them in the side, with whoever we may bring in the summer, like there's cause for an excitement coming into.
Do you know what? Another thing with Thiago, lads, next season, and the forwards will love this. You know how often defenders seem like to be doubling up on Salah or doubling up on Mane. How many people are they going to fucking double up on? Because eventually there's going to be people on Thiago. Like, coaches will be paying attention to him and saying, look, every time he gets the ball, I want 2 people around him, which automatically will create space for the others. And that's very much needed. The players will know this as well. People like Salah are clever. People like Jota, he's such a clever forward. They will know this, and they will utilize the space that Thiago's people marking Thiago will create. So, look, I don't want to get overexcited about next season already, but I am, to be honest with you. I'm fucking excited.
Well, can I just say, a lot of people were having a go at Mane earlier over particularly a chance in the first half that he missed, and he looks out of sorts. And Mane has come out in the last couple of days and said it's the worst season of his career. You know, he's not sure how to fix it, and he's trying everything and stuff like that. He's being very upfront about it. To be honest, like you're naming Jota there, and you're naming you know, I think Firmino could be really good with him as well, because Firmino's very intelligent.
Right, sure.
Salah will thrive off, because Salah will be just put it in that gap there and I'm gone, you know, the kind of way. But I think Mane is the one. And this is why, you know, people are saying about selling Mane, and that's a discussion for during the summer or when the season ends. But when I watch, do you know what I think of when I watch Thiago, and especially if he's a bit further up the pitch? Mane loves that run from outside to in. He loves it, and he's so good at it. And you've seen him at home to United 2 seasons ago, where Fabinho clips one over and it's an outside to in run. You know, I've seen him do it loads and loads of times, and I think I genuinely think this team back at its full strength, with Thiago playing the way he's meant to play and those players around him, I think could bring players up or back to a level that we've seen them at before. But look, the summer is going to throw up names and departures and arrivals and stuff like that, and we'll be reassessing that as when the season comes around again in August. Grizz is headed off to get some more fluids, I'd say, and try to sort that throat out. But before we go, I have 2 questions for everybody before we go. I'll leave Grizz last in this until he comes back. Seany, probably a stupid one, but man of the match.
Thiago. I won't go against the fella was masterful today. And I watched this fella who was doing these YouTube compilations now, and I watched it, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this fella is starting to get going now. Could be the token and give it to Alisson. Alisson's man of the moment. That's the man of the match and man of the moment are 2 different things. I think Alisson man of the moment, definitely. But if you're looking at pure football and wise, then it's got to be Thiago. But look, how can I don't care who your credence is. If you're a sports fan and if you have a fucking heart in your chest, you could not be happy for Alisson Becker today, because it's raw emotion from the off. You see him with, like, I'm going to set myself off here, Jesus. You see him with Klopp at the full-time whistle. You see his interview. It's heart on the sleeve stuff, and it's what it's all about. And we all feel at the moment. Well, not maybe. Do you know what? I'm speaking for everyone, but I'll speak for myself. You know this, lads. For the last 6 months, I have struggled with the emotional side of the game. Yeah. I really felt the game was void. I felt detached. I felt disconnected. Today was sobering in a way where you think, Jesus Christ, like, look how much they care. Look at the pictures. Look at the raw emotion in all their faces. And then Alisson at the end and tipping her off. Fabinho in the dressing room, like the video down the rounds, he's like, holy shit. Like, them boys feel like us, regardless of their salaries. They don't just go home and brush it off. Them boys are feeling it as much as we are, and they've been through the fucking ringer and back this season. And it would be, nothing would bring more joy to me than seeing them turn this around and make something of a fucking disastrous season.
Yeah.
Because we were so often counted out by our own fans and by others. And look, if you had your doubts, you are well within your reason, because it's just been kicking the teeth after kicking the teeth after kicking the teeth this season. And today was a real tonic, a well-needed tonic. It's great between that and the cup final yesterday. And the Leicester lads running around with the owner and Alisson and Klopp today. The human element of football still exists, and hopefully it never goes away, because that's why we love the game so much.
Well, do you know what? I agree with you. I would give Thiago man of the match, but I will tell you that I'll be showing my kids for years to come that goal against that for Alisson, and I'll be literally just saying, this is the last minute and they have to win, and the time is up, and I'll be just playing that video. I think the biggest thing for me today, the goal is massive. I think Thiago's brilliant. The 3 points is amazing. But the biggest thing for me is that interview with Alisson Becker afterwards. Yeah. Not only for himself, because he speaks about his mother, he speaks about his wife. He hasn't been to see his family. He hasn't grieved, I suppose. And that's for him to be out and saying that is good for him. It's a horrible situation, but it's good for him to see him out. And he says that he's avoided interviews, and I don't think he's avoided them. I think he's being kept away from them for obvious reasons. But the second thing about it is he talks about his teammates, and he talks about how happy he is for them, but how much they fight and fight and fight, and it hasn't gone for them, and they've been frustrated, but they keep going and going and going. They don't stop. And I think that was the biggest thing to come out of it for me today, where I sat there and went, you know what? We weren't the best. We won the game. But when your keeper comes out after scoring that, and he could have been just going, how great am I, and stock answers, but he wasn't. He was telling you about his teammates and his manager and the staff, and how they never stop, and it hasn't gone their way, but they keep going and going and going. I think that was the biggest thing for me, but I'd still give Thiago man of the match, because I thought he was just breathtaking. Keith, man of the match. If someone doesn't say Alisson here, well, we might as well shut this channel down.
I'm not saying Alisson. I'm saying Thiago was just sensational. But you know what? It's something you touched on there. The moment of the match and the moment of the season. It's the moment of the season for me. And I'm sure begrudgingly, a lot of non-Liverpool fans might have to just say, look, that's what it's all about. That's what we're in football for, to see that as fans. But Liverpool are the club that are built on moments, right? So Divock Origi was mentioned earlier against Everton. Even the Dortmund game when Lovren and Saka were scored in late goals. Liverpool were an emotional team built on these magical moments. And I don't think any club comes close to the emotional roller coaster for Liverpool fans. And I'll say that, tell me another club that does it. No one comes close. That today is Thiago's man of the match. It was a perfect performance from start to finish for me from Thiago. But that moment at the end, you touched on the emotion there, Gav, of his interview. I was nearly crying watching that interview. You're looking at Alisson, a man, tears running down his face as he's coming off the pitch, dedicating it to his father. This was just fucking pure, unbelievable. Yeah.
If you've seen him ride around, you put the fucking thing in the bin. That's a lot of bollocks.
Yeah, that's it. It's just absolutely madness. And that, to me, as I said at the start, Seany touched on it as well, the disconnect that we've had with football, despite what people say, this version of football is absolute shy. And that just is one of the best moments I've ever seen in football. Never mind, the moment of the season. Like, that's just, you said it, Gav, you've been showing it for years. Like, this, what happens here, this is, gets us. And look, we have to get over the line, getting Champions League qualification. But if we do, like, that's just Jimmy Glass stuff. You know what I mean? It's not like a keeper that hoops one up 90 yards, gets a bit of wind and it bounces over it. Fair play, you got a goal. This is like 94th minute, perfect storm. It's everything you want in that rider. It's
the best header you'll see.
Yeah,
it's the best header you'll ever see.
And imagine Matt Phillips tried to scab it.
Yeah, I know, the dirty bastard. Matt Hayes, Tottenham blog, says, "It was always special seeing a keeper scoring. I went from laughing at your desperation to almost celebrating with you. What a moment." And that's from a sports fan who, of course, are trying to keep pace with Liverpool in that race for top 4. Grizz, man of the match.
There's no way I'm taking it away from Alisson. I would have given it.
Man of the people.
I would have given it just for his interview afterwards. He had me in tears. I was gone, mate. What he's gone through this season on an emotional level, I can't, I don't know about you guys, sorry, but I've still, my father's still alive, so I can't comprehend what he's gone through. Absolutely can't comprehend. And that's in the middle of a season, in one of the most awkward seasons where you can't see your family, where you can't see your mates, where Klopp's often said they can't even integrate with each other. They can't even socialize with each other. They're even sort of having to spread out in changing rooms. Can you imagine the torment he's gone through in the last couple of months? And as a result, he had a little patch of bad form, and that can break a player, can break any human, but he stayed, kept his head down. And yes, he did make a couple of mistakes, but he's come out absolutely flying. And he made a crucial couple of saves today as well, Keith. I don't know if you remember. He made a couple of saves where you think to yourself, this guy. And then his interview afterwards, it was just pure. It's just, everything about him today was fairy tale stuff. And if anyone deserved that moment and everything that's come towards him since then, the reward for that goal, the adulation, the praise, the comfort, is Alisson Becker. So for that purpose, there's no way I'm taking that man of the match award from him, and a big, massive hug as well.
Okay.
Chris.
Well, now it's very important on this next question that you set your phone, if you have an iPhone, to record. Okay, because this is where nobody gets away with anything. Grizz, I'm looking at Grizz. I'm not looking at anyone else. 2 games to go. Burnley away, Crystal Palace at home in front of fans. How many points, Keith?
6.
No messing. Shawnee?
6.
Haha. Grizz. I'm going for 6. Grizz?
4.
Oh, he's done it again.
Jota. I can see where Grizz is coming from.
Jota. Mane, look, guys, today was unreal. I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't unreal. It was fucking unreal. But the performance wasn't good. We've got 2 days to go to...
Performances don't matter.
It wasn't as bad as it's being made out. If we'd have taken some of the chances, we'd have hopped off them.
Let me just give my perspective in it, and then you guys can give yours. And with the news that Jota's out for the season as well, when you say season, the last 2 games... Yeah, that's what I mean. When you say seasons, 2 games. But going away to Burnley, and I know they just got smashed the other day, which makes it even more awkward because they won't want to get beat. Apart from Salah and Alisson, I just don't see us scoring goals. That's my biggest.
See, Alisson scored more goals there.
It's the problem. Apart from Salah and Alisson, I don't see any of the guys fucking confident enough to score.
Well,
Jota was my man.
And Salah's going for a goal and bill, which is important.
Yeah, so. But not only that, I know what you're coming from with Jota. Is he definitely ruled out of the next 2 games?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you not think, and I get where you're coming from, you don't see people scoring, but do you not, and I thought today we were okay. I thought we could see the goal, but other than that, we 77% possession. I think they had 2 shots on target all game. I think they only done about 130 passes in the whole fucking game as well. It was more, and I know what you're saying, Grizz, it was more to do with us and can we open teams up and can we get goals, but surely, Grizz, like we said earlier, what's that do to Leicester? What does that do to Chelsea or even Spurs behind us or whoever else, West Ham or wherever it might be? What does that do to us, Grizz? Like, before United it was like, oh, we have to win 4. Today we get one and win 3. Now it's like, And there is a nervousness there, but surely now, Grizz, that these players are looking at this and going, 2 to go, we're going all out. We're going fucking all out. We're leaving it all out there. And we've been brilliant at United. Alisson saved us a bit today, but we've got the 3 points. I think it kicks us on, Grizz, rather than, looking at the negatives. I think you have to look at the positives and say, 2 games to go, Burnley away, Palace at home. Take that any other day of the week and you'd be happy. I'm not having that 4 points, by the way.
Oh, that's fine. Look, my negativity at Burnley away won't have any effect.
Like, it's not a trophy. Don't take me up the wrong way. Please don't, because it's not how I mean it. Today felt like a bit of a fucking names on the seat job. Yeah. Like, that's what it feels like. The way it just sometimes it goes. Sometimes football's like that. Like the 4-0 Barca Dudek save. Sometimes you just see something that makes you think it's gonna happen, and that's the only reason why I'm saying
loads of things today in today's game made me think this is going to happen for us. The disallowed goals, the way we got the free kick, blah 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 blah. Loads of things.
Is your worry, Grizz, the centre back stuff and the attackers not being? Yeah,
of course it is. Yeah, my, and it's been the same. I've said the same thing. I've been constant, and consistent in saying those 2 centre backs, and if they manage to get us over the line. I've said that also, that this is one of Jurgen Klopp's finest achievements, because, guys, those 2 centre-backs are blessed them Division 1 championship level centre-backs. And we've done magnificent to even get back in the game, because 20 points out of 24 is fucking magnificent with the team. Look, and I don't even want to start on the wankers that weren't available today, like the Yoxers and the Nabbies and everything. No, because that's a different rant. That's a different story. Right. But the fact of the matter is, we've got players falling by the wayside and important, crucial players. I mean, now that's, Diego Jota, say what you want about him, but he's a ruthless, deadly striker. He's become he's an important weapon for us. That's just my opinion on how the game's going to go on Burnley. Burnley's will be licking their lips looking at those 2 centre-backs today. They're Vidra and Wood. But, I'm here. I hope I'm wrong. The signs are all positive. Today was magnificent. You can't get a better ending to a game than this, and they'll be buoyant. But will buoyancy get us over the line? Let's hope so.
Okay, so last question. 6 points, Keith. You definitely think it does get us Champions League. Sean, you're the same. I think we get 6 points. I think the Burnley one is obviously the harder game for me. I don't care where Burnley are in the division. Going there is more times than not as tough. Although we've won probably 4 in a row there, I think, at this stage. And Palace. Palace.
We've had monsters at the back, though. We've had fucking monsters where they can't test us.
Yeah, I understand that, but having said that, like I get where you're coming from. But you see, you have to look at Burnley. Burnley have probably shut off now. They're safe. Nothing's happening. And Palace have a shitload of players out of contract. Now they won today, but they'll turn up at Anfield. Well, how much will they put in? And we'll be going into it. No, just go and win the game. Grizz, 4 points. Does it get you Champions League in your opinion?
No, I think we just miss out.
Okay, good stuff. Nice ending that. All the positivity. I fucking wish his laptop fucking was broken. Yeah. The prick.
Well, do you want me to be
delayed the start for this?
No.
We pride ourselves on not being fake.
Right, on the
that's
screen. True. That's true.
We pride ourselves on being. Go on, Shawnee. We pride ourselves on being honest and giving our opinion, and that's my genuine opinion. It has been since this has been since December.
Is Nick Pope out for the season for them?
Jota out for season, laughy face, lol today in the WhatsApp, did you?
No, that's just to ruin your holiday. That's just to ruin your holiday. That's just to ruin your mood on holiday. And
I'm not on holiday, but I'm living here now. And if anyone asks, I'm in Leitrim. Don't tell the tag man.
He's in Leitrim.
Jota missing for me is massive, man. It's fucking massive.
Well, look.
Because Mane's form, unless Mane fucking turns it on, and we've been saying the same shit for Mane for the last 5-6 weeks. He looks fucked, man. Mane looks absolutely fucked. I've got no faith in Mane at the moment. No faith.
Well, look, we've done this for all the season. We've tried to predict. We've said where our feelings are. The emotions have been one way and then the other, and now we're looking at 2 games to go. Wednesday against Burnley, Sunday against Crystal Palace. All we can do is win against Burnley and bring it down to Palace. draw on Burnley and beat Palace, it looks like it could go down to goal difference, I think.
We'll know that on Tuesday, won't we, when the other two play each other? Is that Tuesday night they play?
Yeah. So, and Pope is out for the season, to answer your question, Keith.
Yeah. Which is big for them.
It is big for them. It is big
for us, because he always has man of the match against us in the games, and the psychological thing, when a keeper has great performances against a team, he'll feel bulletproof.
The other thing about Burnley, and
I do get Grizz though. I'm not gonna lie. We've been kicked in the teeth so many times this season that we're afraid to kind of hang our hopes on something like that. But maybe 4 points does it, because Chelsea go away. Like, I'm telling you now, Chelsea are playing a Champions League final, and there'll be players pulling out challenges and stuff like that, and the 50-50s become 60-40s, and stuff like that can go your way, and they will take the lucky United.
Is there fans at the ground at Leicester on Tuesday night? I think there is.
I think that might be,
Burnley will.
Yeah, Burnley will. So Leicester will after winning the FA Cup, so they'll be well up for that.
Burnley won't want to just sit there and enjoy our party. They'll be there to mess up our party, I should say.
I'm trying to stay positive. And it was somebody there says the Tactical Times says, how is Grizz getting smoked for having the one realistic point of view? Listen, that's what we do with each other. We absolutely haunt each other from one end of the day to the next. But what I'm trying to look at the positives. It's not
realistic to think we can be fucking Burnley and Crystal Palace, though, is it though? Let's be honest.
Well, but he has got points with regards to the players we're missing and the form some players are on. But the way I'm looking at it positively is we have Burnley, who I think are in a major transition.
Listen, let's be realistic. Let's take the fairy tale stuff out of it. We're from a miracle away from dropping points to a relegated West Bromwich Albion team. So it is very realistic to think we're going to a Burnley team who are not relegated, who will have 10,000 fans in their crowd, who will have strikers be licking their lips. West Brom didn't have a fucking striker. They brought out Anwanko Kanu to fucking play against us. So it is realistic.
Well, Nat Phillips will enjoy playing against them high ball merchants all day long.
Chris Wood and that other fella, what's his name?
Well, Ashley.
Let's just call it a spade. If you can't beat Burnley at Anfield or on a season, you don't deserve to be in the top four. So it's as simple as that.
Well, the way I look at it is, I think Burnley are going through a massive. I think they're going through a massive transition this summer, because there was a lot of talk about Sean Dyche's position at the start of the season. I think they will have players that'll be looking, going, will he stay, will he not? What's my position at the club? I think that's the positive way I'm looking at Burnley. Like, they were absolutely hockeyed around the place by Leeds. And then with Palace, I think there's a lot of players there be playing their last game for Palace. There's loads and loads of them out of contract, so literally nothing to play for, but we'll have to wait and see. All we can do is get to Wednesday, see what happens Tuesday with Leicester and Chelsea. It makes it a lot clearer. And then we go for Wednesday and we go for Sunday. This week, with the forum is on Monday. Not too sure on Tuesday. Don't think they'll be at. Wednesday will be the midweek fix, but it'll be a match reaction, of course, to our trip to Burnley. Thursday, don't know yet. We'll let you know. Friday will be the Friday forecast, and we will be back next Sunday for the end of the league. And we'll know exactly where we are and the end of our Premier League season. But look, of course, we're going to keep going throughout the summer and bring you stuff around the Euros and special shows and whatever we can do. So if you're there and you haven't hit the like button, please hit it. It helps us a lot. Please subscribe and support us, and we will do our absolute best for the summer. And we promise that next season will be even better, because we're doing mad amounts of work to make next season even better. Shawnee, anything else before we go?
No. Delighted to be speaking a bit of English for the change. I thought I was losing it for a while, but
you got the accent like David Moyes.
It's good. We haggis.
What's that Spanish play? He keeps saying the boys won now.
That's
the one.
Yeah, that was so good. Keith, anything else before we go?
No, look, great day. Falling in love with the game again. 2 more games to go, and we're all golden again for next season. Happy days, bring it on.
If anyone wants to send me fan mail, I'm not actually out of country. I have a PO box in Letterkenny, so just DM have and you'll get back onto your right.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Grizz, anything else before we go?
No, I'm just gonna.
Do you want to retract that 4-point statement you made?
Yeah,
that's what I'm asking.
What for? Like, what's my negativity gonna have any effect on fucking Liverpool football?
I'm just saying, like, you will be, you will, if it doesn't work, you will get blamed. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not gonna retract it.
Okay, no
I
problem.
I hope and pray that we win and we smash it, and I get pelters for being a negative, whatever. I'll take it.
And then, of course,
my opinion.
And then the knock-on effect is that we can move on to the Mbappe transfer.
See, this is it.
Come on, guys. One at a time. Come at me one at a time. Give me a chance.
Go on, Shawnee.
6 points gets us Champions League. What number does Kylian Mbappe wear next year?
Oh, burn!
And who does he wear? Who does he play for?
Exactly. Again, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's get the
Hold on. You built the bridge about 3 months ago on this show. We don't need to talk about getting to
Build ain't complete. What's the name? What's it called?
Plan of permission hasn't been granted yet.
No, the bridge ain't complete yet.
I want us to get Champions League, like for Liverpool, but more so for Grizz. Talk about Kylian Mbappe for this summer. We're gonna have so much fun with this. I've actually got somebody who's willing to go through all our videos and find every mention of Kylian Mbappe and put them all together. So that's going to be amazing. But listen, if we can get Champions League and we're flying for the transfer window, and then we have the Kylian Mbappe stuff to have an absolute laugh over for the whole summer, that'll be a great
summer. We're going to be so happy by the end of this summer.
Okay, good stuff.
I'll say it again.
Good stuff. Oh God,
we're going to have a great summer. Weather's
all down
until August.
All down to Rio's Health Spa at the end of the summer. That's been the Fatback 4 over and out.